everybody, welcome to another video of Gypsy's Crafty Couch. Today I decided that I was going to get into the Christmas spirit. It's my day off from work and I thought it would be really nice to make some handmade gifts for my friends and my family. And I just happen to have these wood cuts or wood coasters that were cut off of one of my black walnut trees, and I have several different sizes and I like to use them for different crafts, and I had some left and I thought, you know what would be really neat to do with these is to make some rustic Christmas ornaments. So today we're going to be making some rustic Christmas ornaments, and I'm going to show you the fail as well. The ones that I've started are this one. Not sure if you can see the detail. He's very glittery, but it's a Santa moon and it says Season's Greetings, and it's hung with a little rope, and on the back it says Handmade with Love, and that is actually a stamp that I bought. You know, I'm not even sure where I bought it at, but I've had it for years and years and years. And I will tell you that a lot of the supplies that I have laid out you can get at the dollar store. You can find them really cheaply for $1 or $1.25 at Joann's Fabrics. You know, they're nothing that I have is super expensive. Almost, as a matter of fact, almost everything came from the dollar store or the dollar section at places like Target, Joann Fabrics, etc. Here's the other one, and this one is a little prettier. It has lace, and it's a Christmas tree inside a snow globe. And again, I stamped it Handmade with Love. That one didn't stamp quite as well. The ones that, or the things that you need or should have for this project are obviously some wood coasters. You can find these at places like Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure how expensive they are. I'll be honest, I've never purchased any. I always just use ones that I cut off of my own trees when I cut them down or trim them in the spring and fall. So you can get these at most craft stores. So I'm pretty sure Michael's has them. And if not, check Amazon. Just look for 3-inch wood coasters. That's all they are. And you will need one for every ornament that you want to make. You might also want to get some lace ribbon. This I got from the Dollar Tree, so it was $1. And if you don't want to use lace, you can use regular ribbon, grosgrain ribbon, or you can also use twine, jute twine, which I also got from the dollar store. You will need pigment ink, and I'm using red and black for this project because my colors this year are red and white, and with my wood being so dark, I need something that is going to show up on it. Now, the pigment ink works much better than the dye ink. And it will say on there whether or not it's dye ink, like this one is the dye ink, this one is the pigment ink. They're both Studio G, which is in the dollar section at Joann Fabrics. And I tried using the dye ink, and I'll show you what happened in a little bit. Aside from the pigment ink, you will also need stamps. And you can find, I think all of these I got, let's see, this one came from Hobby Lobby on clearance for, I think it's 50 cents, 75 cents. This is a Studio G stamp. It says Happy Holidays. Studio G is always $1. So I love Studio G. Now, and hope your day is magical. This is a Studio G one, which I thought was really pretty. I really like deer. It says Winter Wishes. This one, I think I got this one at a yard sale. I haven't even used it yet. It says Believe in Your Dreams. But, you know, pick out whatever you want to use for your ornaments. If you celebrate Yule instead of Christmas, you can easily find ones that say that spell out Yule, Y-U-L-E, or you can find Happy Holidays or Season's Greetings. This is actually, it was a loose stamp. A loose stamp looks like this. Usually comes in a pack with several stamps on it, and you can put them onto acrylic blocks. But if you don't have acrylic blocks, you can use the lid off of your ink stamper or your ink pad. And so you just set it on there. It comes right off, peels right off. You just set it on there, and then you can use that to stamp as well. I've done that a lot. It's a good idea to have some wet wipes because you do get messy. And it's also good for cleaning your stamps. If you like the sparkly things, then you need some glitter glue. And again, I have Studio G dollar glitter glue, cheapy glitter glue. Oh, this one I got on clearance for $1.07. And if you're wondering what this is actually a quilt pin. And that is a quilt pin. And I stick it in the top of this to keep it from getting clogged up. That's a little tip for you. You will need scissors. It's a good idea to have a hot glue gun and hot glue because that is what holds your hanger in place. Let's see, what have I forgotten? Oh, at the end when everything's dry, this is probably the most expensive thing on the list. If you want to preserve the image, and you know, if you have glitter on there and you want to set the glitter, I recommend getting some clear coat. Clear coat will help to seal it. It'll help to waterproof it. If you live in a high humidity area like I do, you may want to spray both the front and the back of the ornament to seal it in, and that way mold doesn't build up on it or anything like that while it's in storage. Let's see, I believe that is everything. So what you want to do, if you have a handmade stamp, you know, handmade with love stamp, or you have a message that you want to put on the back of your ornament, do that first. Make sure you leave room at the top for gluing your string. So you're from about halfway down is where you want to put your message. And then this is the fun part. You pick out what stamps you want to use. I like deer stamps and I like funny stamps. I don't know why I thought this. Now this one was expensive. I ordered it special, but I just thought he's a cute little guy. Now he will not completely fit on one of these. He'll come close, but I think he looks kind of like an elf. So I did that. Another quickie tip that I have for you is like using the stamps on the tops of your ink pot. You can also glue them to a milk carton lid, a milk jug lid, or an orange juice jug lid. I've done that too. I'm the type of person that, you know, I use what I have on hand. And as you can see, I have a stamp here, and this is a soda bottle lid. And I put what it is on the inside so I would know the position of the stamp. Same with this one. This one, I'm not even sure what kind of lid it is, but it's a plastic lid off something, and I just glued the stamp on there and then glued the image inside in the same position that it is on this side so that I would know how to stamp it. I also have this very large stamp. It's foam on the back, but it's rubber on the front. And don't be afraid to use larger stamps, even though this is small, because you can get quite a bit of that image on there. If you look, I can get that whole sun face on there. So don't be afraid to play around with them. Now, like I said, the hardest part is choosing what stamp you want to use. I think I am going to go with the Hope Your Day is Magical, because I really like that one. And I'm going to stamp it onto my pigment ink, get it really good and loaded up. And you want to make sure that your wood coasters, if you do cut them yourselves, make sure that they're dusted and as smooth as possible. You don't have to sand them down all the way, but you want to take any really rough bits off of it. And you can see my stamp is good and loaded with ink. I may have even overloaded it. We'll see. I've already made one fail today. We'll see if I make two. So you want to put you want to look where you've written your message on the back, and then just flip it over, and that way you'll know that your message will be on the right side. And this is the side you will do your stamping on. So you set it down on your table, and I'm going to kind of angle this down a little bit so that you can see. And you put your stamp where you want it, and you push really hard for a minute, and then you lift it up. And I'll show you what mine did. Hope your day is magical. Now, if you like it like that, you can stop right there. Me, I always have to add something extra. I don't know why. I just like to add things. So, I think what I may do, I have a little, if I can get it out of here, I have a very tiny snowflake. You can't even see the design. Here's the back of it. Very tiny snowflake. It kind of looks like that. Hopefully you can kind of see it. And I am going to put it, these just peel off of the cellophane. I'm going to put it on a glue lid because it fits. It's that size. See, it'll stay. And then I am going to get my black pigment ink again. I'm going to use this one. The first time I used the Joann's. This time I'm using the Studio G. I haven't really found much difference in either of them. And I'm going to get my stamp loaded up. Sometimes it takes a few times to really get it loaded. You can see, well, sort of. You can sort of see that it has some ink on it. And then I'm just going to stamp a few snowflakes around. You can see what I'm doing here. And you may have to kind of wiggle it around and things like that. So, hope your day is magical. And then I put some snowflakes on there. And again, if you want to stop there, you can. Now that I've used all the stamps that I want to use, I'm going to get my wet wipe and I'm going to clean my stamps. But I'm not going to clean them by rubbing them off. I'm going to clean them by kind of stamping them into my hand or onto the table if you want to do it on the table. And I'll show you why. Because I'm a recycle crafter. And that means I save everything. And I do mean everything. And if you clean your stamps on the wet wipe by pressing it down into the table or on your hand, you will see, this is what I did earlier, that you get your image to show up. These are the ones I just cleaned. And if you're a multimedia crafter like I am, once these dry, you can cut them out and glue them onto paper or plastic or whatever else and use them in yet another craft. And I have always kept my wet wipes and used them. I've made wet wipe flowers out of them before for weddings and things like that, for table toppers. I mean, it's just another thing of why throw it in a landfill when you could use it for something beautiful. So, you now saw that I did this. I stamped my initial message, then I put some little snowflakes around it that I wanted some snowflakes. And you could be done here. You could stop and decide that's all you want to do. Not me. I'm a glitter girl. I love glitter. So, I am going to take my Studio G blue glitter glue. And I recommend that you test it first on a piece of paper or a piece of plastic, or what I'm doing over here is I actually have my hot glue gun set on a tray covered in foil, and then I just squeeze a little bit of this out so that I know that it's not clogged up. And then, and I'm sorry I keep moving you, don't I? Please excuse the mess, you know my life. Then I've decided that I want to make these snowflakes have some blue around them. So, if I can get this to come out. Oh, there it goes. I am going to just kind of draw around them with the glitter glue. Just to give them a little bit of punch. Because I'm a glitter girl. I like glitter. I always say that a craft room isn't a craft room until you spill glitter on the floor. My whole house is like that. I absolutely love it. So we've got a little bit of glitter there. Now, it's kind of bumpy right now, but it will dry flat. And I'm tracing these lines here that were on my stamp, just to kind of tie the whole thing together. So I have that. And now I'm just going to put some little dots of glitter glue just to kind of add a little bit more punch. Because like I said, I'm a glitter girl. I love glitter. And since the message on this is hope your day is magical, I want to have a fair amount of glitter on it. Now, the glitter has to dry. It will take it a little bit. But if you decide that you're in a big hurry, what you can do, you can pick which string you want. If you want twine, if you want a ribbon, or if you want lace. I'm going to put lace on mine because I think it kind of mimics the snowflake pattern. And you want to cut approximately 8 inches, give or take. And you want to fold it in half. See, you fold it in half. There's the ends there. And then you want to tie a knot at as close to the end as you can get it. It doesn't have to be exact, but I like to kind of pull it down as close as you can get it. And you'll see you have a knot like that, and there's your loop. So, hi magic. What you're going to do, now this is still wet, so don't touch it. This is if you're in a hurry and impatient like me. You're going to put a healthy amount of hot glue right about there. Hopefully you can see that. You can see. And then you're going to set your ribbon or your lace on top of it and give it a good push down for a minute or so, just so that the glue sets. And then you're going to kind of flip that over. You see there's a little spot there. And you're going to put some glue there. And you're going to take your loop, try to separate it a little bit so that it's not, see, kind of separate it a little bit like that. And just take the tip of your glue gun and push the glue through. That'll just help it to hang better if you do that. There we go. See, that's what the back will look like now. And then you can set this aside. I would set it either on a piece of foil or maybe some wax paper, or set it up so that the glue side doesn't touch anything, because the glue is still going to be a little bit warm. It takes, it does get hard in about 20 seconds or so. Just depends on how big of a blob you put on there. I'm going to set mine over in my tray here with the aluminum foil, and I'm going to let the glitter dry. You can see it's already starting to get flat. And before too long, it will be really flat. And that's my first ornament. Now, I promised you I was going to show you a fail. This is my fail. And it may not look like a fail, but what happened was this particular stamp had too much detail in it. It had too much tiny detail. I don't even know if I can show you the stamp. I don't even know if it would read on camera. This is the stamp. You probably can't tell, but I didn't realize it had so much etching and detail in it. This was a new stamp that I hadn't used before. And because you can see the lines, because of the way this was cut from the tree, there are ridges in it. It's not completely smooth. I didn't sand it down all the way. I just took the rough edges off. And the stamp that I tried to use had too much detail in it, so it kind of really messed it up. You can see the lines. Now, what I might try to do, this is a big might, I might try to get a narrow point Sharpie, black Sharpie, and fill it in so that it is a solid deer image. The deer are really popular this time of year. I've seen the deer head on everything. Everywhere I go, there's the deer head. So that's why I wanted to try this stamp, because I've had this stamp for a while. I just never tried it. But like I said, I may try to fill it in with a marker and see if that works. If that doesn't work, or if I don't want to do that, what I might do, ooh, I just thought of it. I think I'm going to do it anyway. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this red and I am going to fill this in, cover the stamp completely, and see if I get a red glitter silhouette. What do you think? Do you think it'll work? I don't know. I am going to move the camera down so that maybe you can see what I'm doing. And we'll see if this works. Anything's worth a try, right? And didn't Mythbusters always say that failure is an option? So I'm going to try it. If it gets really yucky looking, what I'll do is I'll just put some paper over it and put something else on there. But I am going to try to fill this in neatly as I can. And I've got cats coming up under the table at me. This may work. I don't know. What do you guys think so far? Go on, Baxter. Sorry, I gotta yell at my cats. They like it when I do crafts in here because then they can kind of misbehave a little bit. Well, this may salvage this ornament. We'll have to see. When my children were little, I didn't want them to always expect store-bought gifts. And so when they were very young, even before they understood what Yuletide was, I would make them gifts. And one year I would make all of their gifts. They would not get a store-bought gift. They would get from Father Christmas. They would only get a handmade gift or handmade gifts. And then the other year, the next year, then they would get store-bought gifts. And I would go back and forth every year between store-bought gifts and handmade gifts. And my kids, even now, you know, my son is 26, my daughter is 23. Now they ask me for handmade gifts. It's so funny. I mean, my daughter asked me to make her blankets because she needed, her and her husband and the boys needed blankets. I was like, really? That's what you want? Yeah, I love your blankets, Mom. I want one of your blankets. So I made her blankets. And that makes me feel good because, you know, there's just something about a handmade gift the fact that the person took the time, even if it didn't turn out perfect, just the fact that the person took the time to make you something. You know, I love everything that everyone has ever made for me, even ones that weren't perfect, because to me it said, you know, they cared enough to try to make something. All right, I'm not sure if I like it. What do you guys think? Did I save it? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It kind of looks like a spider, but I don't know how to change it. But, you know, maybe I'll end up covering this whole thing in red glitter and doing something else with it. You never know. It's worth a try, though. I love trying new things. I absolutely love trying new things. So, alrighty. I think what I want to do, you may wonder why I don't put the hanger on before I stamp the image on the back, and that's because with the hanger on it, it doesn't sit flat. You can see it does not sit flat. It, you know, I can fit my finger under there. And so to try to stamp an image on that when it's not flat, I think it would be very difficult to do. I absolutely love this one. I don't know if you can see all the glitter detail, but I love this one. I am actually curious if I can do this. What do you guys think? You think I can do that one? I don't know. I'm only going to ink up the center because that's all that will fit on there. Now, if you have a large stamp like this, you know, one that's pretty big like this, and you don't want to, you know, do it this way, you can always take your coaster, you can see where it is, center it over your image, and do it this way. Give it a real good push. You know, you may have to stand up and do it if you're like me and don't have a lot of wrist strength. But give it a good push, really hard. Keep your fingers crossed. Oh, okay. Now that's interesting. This stamp did not produce everything. You can see it's very faint. So you know what that means to me. Get the glitter out. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to try and trace the image with glitter, because I think that works better. And I like this red glitter. Like I said, my colors this year are red and white. Last year they were a light blue and white. I think I've had just about every color of the rainbow. What kind of traditions do you do for your trees? One year we let the kids pick out all the ornaments, and you know, they could pick from their toys, or they could make ornaments, or they could pick from what we had. I mean, the only rule was that we weren't going to buy any new ones. And we ended up with a witch hand puppet on the top of the tree. And we ended up with some Star Wars guys, My Little Pony, Barbie, and who else? Oh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man was on the tree. It was a very interesting tree. You know, it was fun. I liked it. But I like to change it up once in a while, you know. Sometimes I'll do colors. Sometimes I'll do a certain, I guess, theme. You know, one year I had all angels on my tree. And that was kind of neat, I thought. Some of these lines are really hard to see. But I'm doing what I can. And Bob Ross used to say, you know, Happy little accidents, right? Happy little accidents. No mistakes, just happy little accidents. I have a lot of happy little accidents. But that's okay. If you make some of these wood ornaments, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to see your creations. I like seeing what other people do. I get inspiration everywhere. And every year I have a Yule party, and there's always a theme. This year the theme is fun, and everybody is supposed to bring a gag gift that's already wrapped that is less than $5. And we are going to do a gag gift exchange, which I think is going to be hilarious. I hope so anyway. And I always pick a charity to donate to every year. I've been doing this for, oh gosh, 25 years now, I think. Something like that. 20 or 25, I can't remember. A long time. I've been doing it a long time. And this year my charity is a local place, meeting house called the Gaia House, and they are really important in our community. They have a free library, and they have a Buddhist meditation class. They have, let's see, Tai Chi in the afternoons. They have a labyrinth you can walk down, a meditation labyrinth. There's meetings for different organizations that take place there. At Thanksgiving, they have a community Thanksgiving there. Lots of vegetarian dinners and things like that. And I've actually hosted events there as well. I hosted a craft get-together there. Oh, it's been probably 5 or 6 years ago. But Gaia House is a wonderful place that I feel very close to, so I picked them as the charity this year to have people to either donate used books or used kitchen utensils and dishes, because they do a lot of meal prep there. They have a kitchen, a full kitchen, and everything is donated. I mean, that's kind of the rule, is that if it's usable, please take it over to Gaia House because they can use it. So I picked them this year, and my guests will hopefully bring things that I can take over there to them and deliver to them for Yule. All right, what do you think? I hope you can see that. Oh, looks like, sorry about that. My phone quit working. It stopped videotaping for just a second, so I'm sorry if you missed something. I was talking about the Gaia House being really important in my community, and how that is the charity this year for my Yule party. And I'm hoping to take over there lots of dishes and books and things like that for their free library and their kitchen prep. Alrighty, so this is how this one turned out, because the image did not stamp perfectly well. It was almost a fail on my wood, which that is something you may run into. It really depends on the type of stamp that you use, on the detail on the stamp, and how well your blocks are sanded, or even if they're sanded, or not your blocks, your coasters, how well they're sanded. So don't get discouraged. Just, you know, turn it into something else. Make it work. Make it pretty. I think with this one, once the glitter dries, I think I'm going to put another lace. I don't know. What do you think? Lace? Or should I use the jute? Because I don't have another jute one. Maybe I'll use the jute on this one. I think it turned out really pretty. And it's different. I like ornaments that are different. you can do lots of lots of things with them. So, well, that, I guess, is that. I'll show you this one again. This one I think is finally dry. It's finally dry. You can see the blue glitter. I really wish you could see it in person. It looks so much better in person than it does on camera. I do apologize. And there's that one. And that one. So, yeah. I hope you had fun crafting with me on my crafty couch. By all means, like and subscribe and share and let all your friends know about me because I'm so excited. I finally got past 100 subscribers. Yes, that makes me feel good. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. Join me again. I post videos every Sunday. They're not always the Crafty Couch, but sometimes they are. Sometimes they're practical paganism. Sometimes they're just an unedited chant and rant. But not always. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. If it's after Thanksgiving when you get this, I hope that it was a happy Thanksgiving for you. And yeah, may your Yuletide season be the best it can be. Remember to take a breath, slow down, and say thank you. Because there's a lot of people out there that have to work in the holidays, especially the retail and restaurant industries. And they get the brunt of it. I know, because I've done it for 20 years. So just remember that some of those people that you're getting kind of snarly with, they're only working for minimum wage. And they're just trying to make it just like you are. So take a breath, say thank you, and have a great day. Namaste.